Well, good morning, as I always say. Afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. And I'm with my special colleague, Phoebe Francis, only Phoebe Francis today, not Mohammed Shukri, because he's got something else on that's probably more important. It is more important, I know that, than being with us. He will be with us next week. But Phoebe, good morning to you in Dubai. How are you?
Good morning, Graham, and good morning and greetings to all of you, wherever you are joining. And maybe it is the afternoon time, evening time, or you are listening in a time of your choice. Greetings of the day.
Isn't it good that we can do these things in a time of our choice? Isn't it wonderful? And because people have
It is.
to listen to us in the time of their choice, I always like to provide value. I want our listeners always to be able to take something away from what we've talked about, sometimes even just one little idea. And I know that when years ago, when I was doing sales training, with all that I may have talked about, I was aware that if someone took away one idea, one suggestion out of a 2-day sales training program, they could turn that into a multi-thousand-dollar outcome, possibly. It's sometimes just one idea that makes a significant difference. As people make a connection to it and say, I think I can do that. I can make it work really, really well. So I am going to suggest today that we talk about no, sorry, not the managers, the leaders' secret to successful managing. Oh my gosh. How does that sound, Bibi?
Now, it is a very relevant topic from a uh, as you always say, leadership is everyone's business. So for people who are listening and viewing us, understanding some of the uh, key ingredients, that secrets,
Yeah,
will be always help them to step up in their role
yeah.
and be more effective. And yeah, let us discuss on that things. I'm just curious how you start that.
These are secrets. These are secrets, right? I've said this 4 times. These are secrets. And you've got to share them, right? I
Yeah,
would let
yeah,
you share these secrets and utilize these secrets. We talk about
yeah,
in the past talked about manager, and how more effective a manager is if he or she is coming from a leader's space, if they are demonstrating leadership behavior. So often we say that
yeah,
are just stuck on the get it done quickly, get it done at minimum cost, get it done all that quickly. And we know that the most successful results when we're wanting to get people to do things come through leadership behavior. Now, you know, you're the first one to remind us that we are basing our conversation on the 5 practices of exemplary leadership based in that wonderful book, 40 years, the leadership challenge. Those 5 practices have been around for 40 years. Actually, they've been around a lot longer, but the book has been around 40 years.
yeah,
And we are working and talking to people because of our expertise and our knowledge about the leadership challenge and how it applies. Like anything that's going to be successful for us, it needs to have application. And as I always say,
yeah,
doing a workshop, we talk about the 5 practices. What does the word practice mean? It means it's something that you do. And it also means that you keep doing it. So I want you to align what I'm about to talk about, 3 key things that I want to share with our listeners today that managers do, that leaders can do better, right? Now,
yeah.
the first one is delegation. We know that managers should delegate and should delegate effectively. So what are some of the problems that managers may have when they delegate?
Yeah, in my observations, one of the challenge which I have seen is, they say that I'm delegating, but they want to look into that often. And quite often, what comes across is is the doubt whether my subordinates or members in my team are doing it well. And here comes, I will say, the um, first practice, modeling the way. How am I modeling my way in my delegation?
Yeah.
What can I do differently? I like to hear more from your perspectives on that, Graham.
Okay. So we know that over the years, it's been identified clearly that there are some wrong ways to delegate. And I'll briefly summarize some of those anyway. One is delegation can often be a dumping opportunity. This has got to be done. I'll dump it on that person. They can do it. It's not inspiring. It's not rewarding. It's not in getting them to be engaged in what they need to be engaged in to get a good result. They're dumping, right? They'll also often give it to a person who has not got the right skills to be able to deliver it. They may also deliver
Yeah.
it to someone who's got so much more work on their plate that they're not able to effectively manage and balance the things that are required to be done. So how do we delegate effectively? And I want you to pick up on the one of the 5 practices that this applies to most. So here it is. I'm going to delegate something to someone, and I'm going to say, this is what needs to be done. I know you're going to do a great job, and I would be really pleased to see the results when you've done it.
Yeah, and I think one addition aspect which I like to stress is, if as a leader, I'm sharing with my team, this is my expected outcome out of that, and you are free to do the way in which to reach that,
Yeah.
following our values.
So,
That makes it clear. And for example, in case, yes, in executing or actioning on that item, and if the member finds, okay, there are some areas where he may require support, definitely he can reach out. So priorly informing what is the expected outcome and when it is required, and in case of hurdles or struggles in between phasing, come back to me or reach out, and that makes bit and clear ask
yeah.
at that point of time, and that helps the employee who has received the delegated work to do what is required in a better manner.
Yeah, but I
And
want
here is what I want to tie it with the model the way. You are modeling what I will be providing.
Yeah. But I want to come back to my question. What practice does what I've just described a few minutes ago directly relate to out of the 5 practices of leadership challenge? Which one? Which one?
Yeah.
Which one? Number 4, enable others to act. Enable others to act. I know you've mentioned modeling the way. Yes, sure. But this is clearly enabling others to act. I am going to say to someone, I know that you're able to do this. I know this might be a little bit of a lift up for you, but you're going to perform really, really well on this. I'm specifically addressing enable others to act. Yeah, we could say this is part of my modeling my behavior, but no, cut away from that. This is enable others to act. I know that you can do this. It might be a challenge, but you're going to do a really good job. Now, we know in the Leadership Challenge, with all the research that has been done, even if someone says, oh my gosh, this is going to be a bit of a challenge for me, this is going to be difficult, oh my gosh, but okay, I'm up for it. We know that 96% of people say they perform at their best when they're given a task which is challenging for them. Challenging. It's lifting them up. They want to succeed. Yes, I'm going to brief them correctly. I'm not going to just let them go swimming in the ocean without the life jacket. Of course, I'm going to brief them directly. But 96% of people say, wow, I've achieved this. And when we're doing the Leadership Challenge workshop, which you know about, when we do a part of the workshop called a personal best, that's when we have leaders identify at what point did you achieve your best. And significantly, people talk about a challenge that they were given to do not in challenge the process, but in specifically enable others to act, that they were empowered by their leader to achieve something. And they took this on and they got great results. So this is particularly, and also the others relate to it as well, but this is particularly enable others to act, finding opportunities for that person to grow and to develop. So delegating is critical. What is another downside of the delegating process? And you alluded to it when you were mentioning your views on delegation a moment ago. But what is one of the downsides of a manager's delegation process? What is one of the downsides?
Lack of clarity on what needs to be done may be one of the challenges which
I think
I have, again, personally faced at times.
Yeah, but I think there's a far more significant one than that. And that directly feeds into micromanaging. But the manager wants to be onto that person every 10 minutes. How are you going? You're finished and nearly done. What else do you need? Come on, hurry up and do it. How are you going? Tell me the latest.
Yeah.
Not every 10 minutes, of course, but regularly micromanaging. Leaders do not micromanage. And in a few minutes, I'm going to share a process with you, which I've shared with many others, which I call asking one time. That's what I call the practice, asking one time. But let's just reinforce this fact that managers feel that it is their duty, in their duty statement, to micromanage, to remind their team to do, or their individuals, to finish the task that they've delegated to them. Okay. So your other point, though, is about clarity of the task that's been set out. And yes, that can be a problem as well. What can some people, team members, do if they have been ill-informed in the briefing process? What can some staff do when their manager does not brief them correctly? This is the behavior. So what do you think it might be?
Yeah, at various instances, I have experienced. You don't receive the full picture of what is the context, what are the assumptions behind, what are the key stakeholders in this process, and this makes you blindsided in many ways when we are asked to do something, and often it leads to, yes, the person is working on something and trying to do that, but being blindsided and being not understanding what the end game in this process is, makes at times the work to be mediocre with respect to what the real need is. And this is where many times the managers are unable to get what they want, and the employee feels being lost in the process. So that is where the clarity aspects comes in. Then and sometimes some leaders feel that I cannot share what the context is. And they want to keep the employee.
Let's call them managers in the example you're giving, not leaders. Let's call them managers.
Yeah. So the managers feel that their authority or power get diluted when you give full context.
Oh.
And this comes out of fear. And this makes it very, very challenging for those who are working under such managerial members to get the work to the satisfaction at times.
Let's deal with the person who's feeling unsure of what they're supposed to do. Not so much at this point the fear the feeling that the manager might fail, but what might that person be feeling if they don't understand the full requirements? They may be fearful of going back to their manager to ask for clarity. They may feel if they go to the manager says, I told you what to do, get on with it and do it. What's the holdup? So they may be aware that could happen, so they will not go back easily, or they will avoid going to talk to the manager and get clarity. And likely there will be a problem, maybe not likely, but maybe a problem in the execution of it, and the goal might not be reached, or it might be delayed because of the fear that they have in going to the manager to ask for clarity. But I told you what to do. What's going on? Hurry up and get it done, right? So that is a problem with the manager, his behavior, and the kick-on response of that other person who might be fearful in going to that person to say, I need clarity. Can you go over it again for me? What? I already want it? Whatever. I'm not going to do it. So that's one of the problems that can occur with a manager. So,
and Graham,
would you like
in this?
Come on.
yeah, in this case, it is actually that, you are not practicing that enable the others as well as encouraging the
Because,
heart. The two practices are put in the wayside in that process.
because managers don't do that. Of course not.
Yeah.
If they were practicing that, then this fear would not be there even at the start. But the example I'm giving
Yeah.
there is a manager who does not understand how to get great results. Now, we call this the secret that the leader has. So I want to share with you what I call the process for asking one time. It's a process,
Mm.
and I'm going to suggest that this is how it should be done. I say that this is a conversation that's typically best had when a new team member joins the team, and that the team leader has this conversation with him or her right up front on the first day. This is then setting out the expectations that he, as a leader, or she has with the new joiner, and giving clarity to the new joiner for what's required and expected of them. So let me just walk you through this process, which I call asking one time. So let me just use you
Yeah.
the example in this little demonstration, Phoebe. I've got a project that needs to be done, and I'll outline to you, Phoebe, I need this done. I need this, and this. These are the key elements, and I need to have this covered, and I need to make sure that these elements are also included, and I need these statistics or whatever. I'm making all of this up, you know that. And then I say, I need to have this completed by Tuesday of next week at 3 o'clock. And I then say, and this is critical, I then say, is that okay? The person will likely say, yes. Okay, by the way, they've just signed a contract. That yes is like a contract, verbal contract.
Yeah.
So and you understand what I need to be done. And they say, yes, again. Okay, great. A contract, again, is being executed. So then I will say, but the third element of this is, now I'm not going to come checking with you to make sure that you're doing the right thing. But I know that if you've got any questions, you'll come to me, won't you? And the response will be, yes. Great. Thank you very much. I'll see you next Tuesday at 2 o'clock. I've set out
Mm.
clear terms what I want to happen. The person has said yes to critical parts of this process. Simple. They've said yes. Now, let's just assume that along the way, we get to 2 o'clock on Tuesday. Now, remember, I am not going to go back to this person every hour or even every day and say, so give me an update, how you're going. Not at all. I have empowered this person to deliver the result. So come 2 o'clock,
Mm.
2 o'clock on Tuesday, I may not get the report. I'm going to leave it in the first instance. I'm going to leave it maybe until 9 o'clock on Wednesday morning. And I might go to this person and say, Phoebe, hi, how you doing? Oh, yeah. Phoebe will say, always, I'm fine. Oh, that's great. That's great, Phoebe. Remember last week I asked you for a report to be done. Yes. Remember I said I needed it by 3 o'clock on Tuesday, which was yesterday. I don't seem to have it. Well, look, I had some problems and I had some delays and Phoebe, do you remember that I said if you had any problems, you would come to me? Remember you said you would? Oh, yes. But you didn't, did you? No. Okay. Well, you will remember, won't you, that I did offer that. Yes. So I remember I said I needed it by 2 o'clock Tuesday, again, yesterday. When do you think I will have the report completed, Phoebe? Oh, I need another 2 hours. Okay. Thank you, Phoebe. I'll see you in 2 hours. Now, there's a pretty good chance that that person will come to me in the 2 hours time and give me that report. Great, Phoebe. Thank you very much. Next time I go through this process with this person, Phoebe, I'll say, Phoebe, I need this, whatever it is, to be done. I know you're really busy at the moment. And there's a lot on your plate. I need to have this, these things done by next Thursday at 10 o'clock in the morning. Given all that you've got going on, is this something that you will be able to achieve? Yes, I can. Okay, great. That's fantastic. Phoebe, thank you. I know that if you've got any problems or issues, that you'll come and talk to me about it, won't you? Yes. Okay, great, Phoebe. Thank you very much. See you next Thursday at 10 o'clock. There is a 97.5% chance that I will have that written report or whatever it is I've asked for almost before 10 o'clock next Thursday. Now, have I beaten this person up because they've missed the first deadline? No, not at all. I've reminded them that they didn't do what they said they were going to do, what they agreed to do. Now, let's say that there's a third, well, there will be a third. Oh, by the way, what happens when this person brings me the report at 9:30 on the Thursday? I'm going to say, Phoebe, fantastic. Thank you very much. You obviously didn't have any problems with this, and I reckon there's a really good chance you've done a fantastic job. Let me have a look at it. Right? Oh, yeah, thank you. Next time, the third time that I ask this person to do some whatever thing, I'm not going to need to go through those steps. I'm able to say,
Yeah.
need this report from you on Monday, 2 weeks from today at 11 o'clock. Is that okay? Yeah, that's very good. Thank you very much. Now, I've just said Monday, 2 weeks. Let's just take this a little further and say Monday in 4 weeks. Maybe it's a little bit larger in its scope. And only when it's larger in its scope am I able to say to the person who I've given the task to, and told them what's required, and said, this is the date it's required. Only with that, in that situation, can I say to them, is it okay if I check in with you every week just to make sure that it's all going well? Yeah, sure. Okay, great. Thank you. So every week, Monday, 10 o'clock or what, I'll say, hey, just want to check in. How's it going? Going really well. Okay, thank you very much. See you next week. Because the person knows that if they've got any problems or if they've got a delay that's coming to them that's going to affect them, they can come and talk to me. This, I'm getting back to your point earlier about the person being confused and not wanting to go to the manager. They can come to me. I've said, any problems, you'll come to me. And they've said, yes, okay, that's really good. So it's asking one time. So often when I talk to managers about checking in on people, it's almost like it's an item in their duty statement to check in, to ask people if they're doing what they are paid to do. No, that's not what managers are supposed to do. Leaders will do what I have just said, and they will get great results. There will be less stress in their life because they know that if I've asked Phoebe to do this complex report, whatever it is, and I need it fully completed by this particular date and time, that I will get it, or at least along the way, I will get an update from Phoebe or a request for help. That's perfectly okay. I'm going to be happier. You're going to be happier. Yes.
Yeah, Graham, it actually create, like in that process which you created is creating psychological safety for the employee too in that process.
Absolutely. Psychological safety.
And along with that, you as a leader highlight, these are my values, even though you are not openly saying that. It is also being informed to the employee in the room, and that makes a huge difference.
Yeah.
When I have that psychological safety, it is actually developing the trust, and it one way or another breeds loyalty in the process. You create a relationship in that space where the employee feels, I'm enabled. I'm enabled to act on that thing.
Yeah. Now we talk about, as you know, in the model the way, DWY, do what you say you will do. So let's link that now to my question to the person. You know what needs to be done. I've briefed you as much as I can. You know the deadline. You'll be able to finish it by then or deliver it to me by then, won't you? And they then say yes. But they can say it's going to be difficult or I need more time. Absolutely. Absolutely, they can say them. But when they say yes, we have that expectation that as I do what I say I will do, that they will also do what they say they will do when they said they would complete it on that day at that time. But if they've got a problem, come and talk to me. I'm happy to talk to you about it. I'm not necessarily going to give you the solution, but I'm going to help you through this process. So in the short time that we have left, let me bring up now, and this is also about the secret to leaders' success. We've heard of the process of having difficult conversation, haven't we? We've mentioned this,
Yeah.
but I think it's so important that we should mention it again. I don't want leaders to have difficult conversations. Why not? Why not? Tell me, Phoebe, why do I don't want leaders to have difficult conversations?
I think when we practice the 5 practices of leadership challenge,
Why do I not want him or her to have a difficult conversation? Don't jump ahead. Why do I not want to have that conversation? I'll tell you.
we can have easy conversation if
Why
we are following that.
I know, but why do I not want him to have a difficult conversation? It's simple. It's stressful for him. It's stressful for the person receiving it. No one loves a difficult conversation. Oh, Phoebe, we're going to have a difficult conversation. Let's have a hug first. No, that's not the point. That's why someone from Harvard wrote a book, Having Difficult Conversations. Now, I'm not pushing back on the outcome. Of course, that leader wants a change in behavior or a change in whatever from that person, usually a change in behavior. And it's typically felt that the only way to do that is for me to play the bad cop or the heavy manager. This is what you got to do. You've been about, let me give you some feedback. I'm going to tell you. What is one of the most important things that we talk about? We say leadership is everyone's business, but we also, in the fundamentals of leadership, say what? I say it almost every week when we're in these conversations.
Leadership is a relationship.
Absolutely, it's a relationship. And if we have a relationship, I can talk to you, Phoebe, who let's just assume I am the more senior person in the organization and you are direct report. I can talk to you and get a change in your behavior. I sometimes call this a course correction, a change in what you're doing without either of us feeling that this is awkward, difficult, or something we'd rather not do. But I can guide you, I can help you because we have a relationship. And I can say, for example, Phoebe, can I make a suggestion? Because I really think this is going to improve what you're doing. Can I make a suggestion? What's your response going to be every time? Yes. 98.3% of the time it will be yes. You will allow me to make a suggestion that will improve what you're doing. Because we all like to improve what we're doing. And I'm giving you a suggestion. Yeah. I'm not clipping you over the ear and giving you feedback and having a difficult conversation. You must change this, you must change that. I've got a relationship with you. We can talk about this. We can talk about the issues that you might be having, and I can help guide you through this, perhaps with a coaching voice or with a discussion that's going to help you get results. And you're going to leave that interaction that you've had with me feeling better about yourself than when the conversation started. Do you agree?
I absolutely agree that process. And you know, it makes us receptive to that shift and change. And you know, it is a suggestion, and it is and that makes it more unique from a receiver's perspective. I become more receptive in that space.
Yeah. Now, having a difficult conversation, I really push back on that. And I've used this, shared this example before in our conversations, I'm sure. And that is some years ago when a manager said to me, the HR department had said, we've got to have difficult conversations with our team. And I said, how do you feel about that? And he said, I don't want to do it. Of course not. Did he do it? No, because he didn't want to do it. He did not want the awkwardness of that difficult conversation. So he avoided it. No, you've got to have a difficult conversation. Hang on, I think you're having a difficult conversation with me, might be right now, aren't you, Mr. HR Director? But when we have a relationship, we can get significant results with the people we're leading. When we care about what they are doing, when we want to help them. This is part of where we talk about leaders. No, we say this is one of the top 4 characteristics of admired leaders, that our leaders that we want to be led by, we want them to be inspiring, right?
Mm.
4 characteristics
Yeah.
of my leaders. Now, if my leader, supposedly, or the manager is going to flip me over the ears and put me down and demean me as a person, will I be inspired? No.
No way. The person will be then in an exploration. How can I be out of this place?
Yeah, but Pibby, I'm telling you this because you need to know. Next towards me, it caused me to cough. Right? Not what we want to be doing.
Yeah.
Inspire people. They don't inspire them by having difficult conversations. Sorry, I'm getting carried away. This will soon become a very difficult conversation with you.
Yeah. No, as we discussed these points, one thing is again coming to my mind is, you know, uh, that first practice which we discussed, not again the model of the way is there, along with that encouraging the heart, and so these aspects when leaders practice, I don't think then the um, issue of difficult conversation arising at all, because y- do what you say you will do
Yeah, but
comes into that space.
of course, but when you talk about encourage the heart and the importance of that, absolutely. But I'm going to use your words just then to give a slight variation to this to help the person give what we might call negative. I don't like that word either, but let's say corrective suggestions. So I've been working with this person for a little while, maybe working with you, and I say, Phoebe, you know how I always tell you when I've noticed you doing something really well. You know I do that, don't you? What are you going to say?
Yeah.
And you think that's really good, don't you, Phoebe? And you're going to say, yes.
Yeah.
Well, Phoebe, guess you know what? Sometimes I've got to say this. I can't always do that. Sometimes I've got to go the other way. So right now, and I'm going to say this with a smile, right now, this is not going to be encouraging your heart. This is something where I need to see a change in your behavior more positively. Is that okay? And you're
Yeah.
going, yes. Bibi, let me suggest what it is. Please don't be late every morning. For the last 3 days, you've been coming in at 4, whatever. So I can convey the change in behavior that I need, because the trade-off that I've put in place here is, you like the good stuff, don't you? And I give you the good stuff. I give you the encouragement. Guess what? Sometimes I've got to talk about the not so positive, and I'm doing that now.
Making it clear, making it in a way in which the person is willing to receive, and preparing that person in that process.
Yeah, sure. And they can genuinely say, yeah, I really like the good things that you say about me, and I want more. So I will change my behavior that you're suggesting I change because I want more good comments. Phoebe, thank you so much. Our time, I think, is over. There are secrets that can improve what managers do as they become more proficient leaders, following the 5 practices of exemplary leadership. It's not hard, is it? What I've talked
It's easy. It's easy
yeah.
if it comes to our attention, and um, if we are conscious enough, and it brings to our awareness what we are practicing, it becomes easier for us in our regular work and life setting. So that is the beauty of leadership challenge.
Here's one example. That process that I described, simply because it is a simple process but has a structure, that is asking one time. How difficult is it to have that conversation? It is no way difficult. Not at all. And the results, fantastic. Phoebe, I wish you a great week ahead. Stay healthy, stay happy, and we will be back together at the same time next week. And Miss Muhammad Shukri will be with us as well. Thank you, Phoebe, for your wisdom and for sharing your views with us all today. Thank you, Phoebe.
Thank you, Graham. And again, I'd like to request our viewers, our listeners, please subscribe to the channel, share your comments and thoughts, as well as in case you have a leadership challenge in your workplace, we are here to help and support you.
Really.
Thank you.
And tell others about the podcast on the YouTube. Yeah. Yeah, thank you very much.
Thank you.